Learning the tarot is hard. The cards have multiple meanings, associations, and correspondences. But what if there was an easier way to learn the cards? What if instead of memorization, you learn the history of the cards? What if you learn the secrets of tarot by asking the cards themselves to explain it? In the Tarot Detective Society, we seek to unveil all of the mysteries of the cosmos, one reading at a time. And in this video, we will investigate one of the most common questions about the tarot, and that is, why does the Knight of Cups look so similar to the Death card? And if you see, both horses look very, very similar. The knights have a very similar armor. And of course, this nightmare has red eyes, and this one does not, but there does seem to imply that there's a relationship. And the reason that there seems to be so much resemblance between these two cards is because it would seem that they are actually the same card. And to explain this, I'm going to let you in on what does it all mean. Because if we see all of the knights, we are going to see that each and every one of the knights has a horse with a different color. And if we look at the color of these knights, of the references, of what does it mean, and if we look at the ancient wisdom, for instance, the Apocalypse, we are going to see that these horses and these knights fit the description of the first horseman of the Apocalypse. We have death, we have war, we have famine, and we have conquer. So it would seem that what the cards are telling us is that each of these knights, when they become a major arcana, represent one of the four horsemen. And that is the reason why these two cards are so similar. But is this the right interpretation, or is it not? To figure it out, just as we do every time on the Tarot Detective Society, we are going to ask the cards themselves. So here we have a different deck so that we can get out the cards, and we are going to shuffle the deck another time. It's already pre-shuffled, but we're going to shuffle it. Don't worry, it's a plastic deck. It's a very sturdy deck, so I can refill shuffle, and nothing is going to happen to these cards. They are very powerful. They are very well made. They are very tough. Okay, now we're going to cut the deck, and we're going to pull out 4 cards. I think it's fitting because there are 4 husbands. And look, this is happening again. I cannot believe it. We have again the Knight of Cups, the Sun, the Two of Wands, and finally the Chariot. It's a very interesting throw because it's a very radiant throw. And as we're going to see, the Chariot usually indicates direction. And what the Chariot usually tells us is that there are 2 forces pulling the Chariot. And if we want to pull in the same direction, we need to have these 2 forces pulling us at once at the same time. And this used to be our intellect and our passions. So this is telling us that yes, the cards that we're looking at actually have 2 meanings. A regular meaning and an esoteric meaning. So in the regular world, we can still keep looking at the Knight of Cups as the one that delivers good news, that delivers the romantic news, but it is also death. And that is, as you can see, reminding us in the sun card that the sun is also here in the death card. This is telling us that the horsemen of the apocalypse are forces to be feared only by those that are not pure, because for the rest, there's going to be rebirth. There's going to be radiance. So we're always going to be facing this choice with these two cards. Just like in the Two of Wands, holding the world in our hands, we need to make a choice of how are we going to read these cards. And it's telling us that it's usually the radiant reading, the profound reading that's going to be the correct one. So this is it for this video. As you can see, the cards themselves have spoken, and they agree with our interpretation that the knights are actually the first horsemen of the apocalypse, but we shouldn't fear them. They are radiant news. We shouldn't fear death, because death is only the beginning of a more spiritual life. And well, again, thank you. If you like these videos, please give them a thumbs up and subscribe. And of course, always tell me if you know of any way that I can improve on these videos. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again on the next video, fellow investigators. Goodbye.